lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Looting through the rubble, leaving cities war-torn, still incurring more scorn. Ragged and I'm forlorn, trying to unlock this. Open with my lockpicks, punching with my second hand every time the clock ticks.
Alright, there you go.
Okay, hopefully this will work. Let's transition over now. It's been a while since we've done any of this. This is pretty crazy. I'm just making sure the audio works. This is going to be kind of a very weird episode, by the way. Like, even more than normal. Okay, so the audio works. Kind of having a weird AMSR voice here. Hi everyone out there. It has been a while. This is 2013. Hopefully everyone can hear me on this. I'm actually going to raise my voice just a little. There we go. The microphone's a little bit more sensitive now. Also sorry for the lighting. A bunch of things have changed, and one of them is that I did break my Ring face light, which later on in the month I'm going to be getting a new one. So in the next live stream we should be able to see my face more properly lit up here. Yes, it is pretty chilly at my friend's place here. I'm back at the, if you remember episodes ago, I was streaming in like this different white void that was different from the previous white void. So I'm streaming here, and they don't think anything is too cold, so it's kind of chilly in here, so I'm just keeping warm. And because my day job is I work outside, even though I try to keep it all tidy, I grew my mustache and my facial hair, just to like at least have like a lip cozy, and like that way, the scarf does pretty well. This is actually from PAX East 2015. However, and it glows in the dark, by the way, all the white highlights glow, but the beard also kind of helps keep my chin and sometimes a little bit of my cheeks warm. But anyhow, welcome to this show. Sorry, it's been so long since we've done this. It's also been the new year, so if I haven't reached out to you and say Happy New Year, happy 2013. 2022 really sucked for me, both personally and at a group level, and of course, one thing obviously affected the other, so this lighting made it very mysterious. Yeah, we're using the natural light in here, and it's better than, nothing, but, the light is still bleh. Actually, I'm going to do the spiel, and give me one moment, because I'm going to see if I can make the lights more intense than it actually is, so hopefully the lighting might be a little better in here, but let me just go through the spiel. So, if you forgot who I was, because it's been a while, especially for the show Master of Unlocking, hi, I'm Sidepocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201. We are one of the many, many, many DEF CON groups across the United States and across the world, and normally I would say, hey, go to our website. I know this has been a running joke all of 2022, leaking a bit 2023. We're having multiple issues with our website. I've been trying to resolve them in between me having a busy schedule where I've had a lot of good news happen to me, but that means things have been getting busy. This is why I haven't been like consistently on time due to live streams, among other factors. Okay, I'm still looking for a home, but I almost have a home, so cross your fingers. But we are on a bunch of other things. You can check out our Medium blog right here, which should be updated later this week with awesome way. We are finally going to be having a meeting that I've been putting together for 2 months now. It'll be both physical and live streamed as seen here, so that will be pretty neat. By the way, my copy pasta shortcut is broken, so that's why you're hearing clicking, because I'm literally right clicking and copy pasting that way instead of doing the shortcuts. Here's something that you can't do on Twitter anymore. Post a link tree that has all of our social links, including our most popular ones, which is sadly still Twitter to some degree at DEFCON201NJ. We are also on Instagram at DEFCON201, and we are on Mastodon under the hostducks.social instance, which has been popping because, people finally found a perfectly use for it, because Twitter just imploded thanks to greedy capitalism. But that's the link to our social links. And I've been so busy I haven't been on this lately. We plan to resurrect our IRC later this month, but in the meantime we do have a public Discord. We usually use our Discord for CTF chat, CTF competitions, which we're going to get back to probably honestly starting in February. If there's something that comes up this month, we'll try this month, but that's kind of the thing right there. So that's kind of all the links there. Once again, we're not streaming on Facebook, which is kind of a relief. We're going to be looking to expanding our streaming to get even more stuff on there. So, D-Live is not out yet. So this actually might be one of our last D-Live streams, to be honest, because it's been rebounding a little bit recently, but it's just been nothing but like slot machines lately. Like it validated Twitch's fear about the whole slot machine craze. Basically, there are people who just live stream playing virtual slots all day, and that's fine when it's like a couple of channels. Maybe it's in like the top 20, but when all the top content is nothing but slot machines, the big dive since PewDiePie fell off. But we still do like D-Live, so we're going to kind of interface with that, but we're going to be also trying new kind of blockchain streaming avenues, so stay tuned to that. So anyhow, in addition to trying to meet the third Friday of every month to do and talk about hacker things, we also have a couple of live stream shows. Now, I did promise that Circuit Breakers was going to happen this month. Unfortunately, that got delayed due to good news, but busy news. So we're going to try to aim for next month. I have a really cool idea for that. Also to note, before we get into actually, let me finish the spiel, and then I'm going to mention this whole other thing, which is kind of neat. But we have a bunch of shows, and I have 2 consistent shows, and this is probably honestly our most popular show, The Master of Unlocking, where I teach people how lock security works, how doorknobs work, and stuff like that. Because of how I teach how they work, we also find out like weird ways to exploit them, and then we do stuff live, whether it's picking the locks open, shimming them, bypassing them, all sorts of crazy techniques. And we're going to be doing even more crazy episodes as I wait for more stuff in the mail. But if you haven't noticed, we didn't have an episode in December. That's because, again, everything's been going crazy on my end. But I promised everyone we were going to do this episode, and I'm going to be dead honest why I didn't stream originally on Saturday and the same thing yesterday. Both times I came home and was just too tired to stream. That's realistically what happened. If I did these episodes... Now, here's what's crazy. I have 5 to 4 hours before I go to work today, and this episode is going to, put it lightly, really fuck me up. And in fact, I just remembered something here that I'm going to attempt to rectify and pray that the stream doesn't kill itself. So I just remembered something that's going to be very important for the stream. Let me just restore tabs. Where is it? History. Oh, come on. Also, by the way, there is a dog in the building. So if you hear barking for whatever reason, that's the dog that's downstairs. So just keeping that in mind. Let's go to Twitch. And rectify this. Basically, I forgot to turn the mature filter on for Twitch, so I have the mature filter on for everything else. So let's get into that right here. So let's do this. I really hope the stream doesn't die. This whole episode is going to be, I really hope that the internet doesn't die. My friend has good internet here. It's more of my machine trying to keep up is kind of more of the problem. Okay, so I'm trying to remember which settings do I go into. Settings, I think, stream. And in there should be, yep, there's the mature content filter, and I think I am good. So I should be able to shut all this down again. There we go. Okay, so that should have done it. Cheryl says it's going to kill you. If it's going to kill your sleep, let's just aim to do an hour tonight. That's fine, because actually what we're doing, all the episodes, see, that's the weird electricity thing going on, are going to be really short. So this is going to be a short but sweet episode, to be honest. And again, which is what I'm going to warn, this episode, we are not going to, well, we are going to be dealing with locks and lockpicks and stuff, but usually on this show, I have like another camera and a crane, and you get to see my hands try to open locks. You know, if you've ever seen any of the big guys, whether it's Bosnian Bill, peace be with him, being retired, Lock Noob, Lady Locks, who's recently come on the scene, any sort of lockpicking channel, including Lockpicking Lawyer, I do a similar thing. It starts with my face, goes through with my hands, and then ends with my face. This is not going to be that stream. This is actually something I was originally going to do in December to ring in the new year, but because, again, I was really busy with a ton of good news stuff, we're doing it now. And again, we were supposed to do this the past 2 days, but I was honestly too tired to stream. I'm not tired now. We'll be tired later. So let's do this. And basically, what we're going to do is something I have actually been working on for a couple of months, even though I think I have to add 1 or 2 more rules in here. And you all can follow along with this. And basically, it came from discussions on the Tool Slack and in person among Tool members and Locksport people in general, kind of realizing that Lockpicking Lawyer, who's amazing, we all love him, has done so many videos and has covered so many different phrases and subjects that you could theoretically make a drinking game out of watching his videos. And that's what we're going to do on this stream. We're going to be streaming for about 30-40 minutes here, max. It'll be a ton of videos, and we're going to try out my prototype of the Lockpicking Lawyer Drinking Game. So, and it sucks because I forgot to post this on the Lockpicking Reddit, so I will post this later for everyone to watch on our Lockpicking. So I'm sorry that I didn't have time to set that up, but everything else, we have everything set up here. So without further ado, we're going to flip over to the other screen. I'm going to go over the rules. We're going to pour the mystery fluid, and we're going to load up some videos, hope the internet connection doesn't die, and have a lot of fun. At worst, you're going to watch me get really stupid really fast, okay? I think this is a great way to start 2023. As we go into the desktop mode here, I also want to mention that I originally, way long ago, this year was supposed to start off us returning to MagFest. Went to MagFest in 2022 in January. Was absolutely amazing and awesome. Okay? However, I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically, I had something that happened there that at MagFest that was not because of MagFest. In fact, MagFest staff was so phenomenal. Their help with what happened was awesome, because without them, it would have been way worse, like a ton worse. But even though it's been a year since then, I did not have the mental facility to go back there. Because you have to understand about MagFest, they're at the Gaylord in Maryland. It's like an isolated island. To get to McDonald's, you have to drive there, and it's like up a hill. It takes like 12-15 minutes to get there, okay, and back. So if I was going through PTSD because just looking at MagFest would remind me of what happened last January, at best, I would have been in my hotel room the entire con, wigging out. At worst, I would have to book my ass for the nearest bullet train back to New Jersey, because I still had PTSD over what happened. And it sucks because it's not MagFest's fault, and it has nothing to do with MagFest, like, itself as a convention, okay? And that's what makes me feel. The way I described it is, imagine you going to see Empire Strikes Back for the first time, but you were mugged in the movie theater. And so now every time you think of Empire Strikes Back, you have pain because you think of when you got mugged there. It has nothing to do with Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. The movie is still amazing. You don't hate the film. It's just now when you think of it, you're unfortunately associated with this other bad memory. And that's what happened. So unfortunately, I wasn't there this year. And it super sucks because every single thing that we wanted to do with the other two Locksporters for MagFest this year happened this year. The two panels about lockpicking in video games and lockpicking after dark happened. Tool DC came back and did a phenomenal job. We had a consistent makerspace lockpicking village as opposed to a limited time one that we had in 2020. And so I really, really wanted to be a part of that, but I couldn't because of lingering PTSD. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, that originally we were going to be like, hey, I was going to live stream all the lockpicking at that MagFest. We're supposed to do circuits breakers with the circuitry badge at MagFest, things like that. Didn't happen. Okay, so I just want to put that out of the way. So anyhow, instead of PTSD stuff, let's spend 20 to 30 minutes of fun. So I hope you can see it, but in the upper left corner, we have some rules for the Lockpicking Lawyer Drinking Game, and I believe I forgot one that I need to, I did, that I need to add. So I will add that one, not near the end, but it's probably going to be in the middle. But I'm going to read the current rules first. So for those of you playing the home game, first you're going to need a liquid. Now I have this generic cup because I am going to pour the mystery liquid that hopefully won't explode on me. Open it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to pour this off camera. I will give you a hint. It is not alcohol. Okay? I'm not going to say what it is because it's going to make me seem horrifically irresponsible doing this on the stream. And the best way I'm going to describe it is this liquid is whatever company wants to sponsor me for this stream. Could be Pepsi, could be Dr. Pepper, could be orange juice. Whatever company wants to sponsor whatever liquid I'm drinking here, that's what this liquid is. And I'm going to actually do a taste test for you all. Happy New Year 2023. Glad the suckage of 2022 is over. Cheers for more episodes of Master of Unlocking, Hack the Planet. No, alcohol would aid the sleep. Ooh, this tastes... My first time drinking this. This is really good. It has a fruity flavor to it that I like. Usually when something's labeled as fruitish, I'm like, but this is really good. I'm going to get more of this in the future. In fact, I'll put it this way. In April, I will reveal what liquid this is. Okay? I'll give it that. But that's neither here for there. Let's go back to the Lockpicking Lawyer Drinking Game. So, here is the rules I've divided for the game. You can make up your own rules if you want to make your own variant, but I think this is a solid list of rules here. So, here's the sips. You get one sip of whatever you're drinking. And by the way, with drinking games, it doesn't have to be alcohol. You want to... Actually, a fun way to do a drinking game is if you load the drink, like if the drink is just bitters, so it's like really sour. That's a great way where if you're not tipsy on alcohol, but you want the same effect, make it really bitter, really sour. That's hilarious. And that's not what I'm drinking, but just whatever liquid you prefer. That's not going to kill you. We're not doing like terrible TikTok games. So first rule, Malort. Yeah, oh god, yeah. I guess Johnny Xmas is going to love this stream now. And I'm not drinking Malort, by the way. That's not this juice. Okay, so... And by the way, you hear a lot of creaking and stuff. The microphone's really sensitive. That's the chair. I'm going to be turning the mic off when we watch the videos, okay? So, here are the rules. You take one sip if Lockpicking Lawyer mentions that pin number 2, 3, or 6 is binding. I had to be very particular with, because at any given lock he says that one of the whatever combinations is binding. But I chose those because I think that's an interesting mix. You take one sip if he encounters a counter rotation. As we saw on the show, particularly with spool pins, there are security techniques where it makes you feel like you've set a pin when you haven't set a pin. And that means when you try to push it in place, the tension wrench will push backwards in reverse. So it's like untensions and stuff. That's called counter rotation. Anytime he mentions that he has counter rotation, we take a sip. Now, here's a very specific one. I thought of maybe even lessening it, but ooh, now it's kicking in. Oh, that was just one sip from this. Oh god, I'm gonna die. 1/2 sip, so like a, like, you know, not a, but a, for an innuendo. Because he rarely does innuendos, but we might accidentally run into certain videos of his that he does on April Fools where there are nothing but filled innuendos. So if I did a sip for innuendo, we would all be dead on those videos. So this is just like a taste, as I call it, a 1/2 sip for if he makes a hilarious innuendo. Well, I had the cap locks wrong on that one. 1 sip for when he makes a joke about how bad a Master Lock product is. Okay, that's 1 sip. Now we're going to get 2 sips every time he shills for covert instruments. That's in mostly his newer videos. I think that rule alone means I'm going to die tonight, but let's continue on. 2 sips if he bypasses something with a common household object, hammer counts. I'm more thinking of if we accidentally load up any of the gun videos where he's unlocking guns with all sorts of things, twigs, pieces of plastic, anything that's a common household object that's not specifically designed as a lock-picking tool, we take 2 sips for that. 2 sips if he mentions Mrs. Lockpicking Lawyer, and I should add this caveat. You only take it when he mentions her once. If he mentions her after that, you don't take any more sips until there's a new video, okay? 3 sips if he is doing something with a lock where the lock physically breaks. And also note, it can only break once. So if it's constantly breaking into pieces, you only do the 3 sips when it starts breaking. You don't keep doing 3 sips as it keeps breaking, okay? And tips, last number 3, 3 sips when he mentions the tool he and Bosnian Bill made, which already is going to make me dead. Now, I'm going to add one last rule in here if OBS will allow me. Where did I put the text box? Here we go. So we're going to go into properties here. And the one I forgot to mention is, first of all, let's correct. Where are you here? I'm going to correct. Move this liquid over. So I'm going to go down here. Let's make the O a normal case. There we go. And the new one we're going to add, I'm trying to figure out if I want to do 1 sips and 2 sips. You know what? I'm going to do this as 2 sips. We're going to put under the Mrs. Lockpicking Lawyer. Okay? So actually, let's put it above. Let's put the household objects and lockpicking lawyer. So it's going to be 2. Just let me put this down on the floor so I can have full typing range. 2 sips when check pin is defeated. Okay, that's the new one, because occasionally there's a point where he has a check pin, and so now we've added that anytime he mentions there's the check pin and he defeats it, we have to take 2 sips. So I think this is a good list of rules, and of course a bot comes in to ruin everything. As they said in the terrible Matrix Resurrections film, I hate bots, so I'm actually going to use this to shill more of our links. There we go. So now that's gone. And now we're going to get directly into the drinking game. And by the way, because the visual itself doesn't really matter, I'm leaving the rules up there to follow along. So I'm going to take the mic off, and hopefully our stream won't die. And remember, rules. 1 sip if he says 2, 3, or 6 is binding. 1 sip if he mentions there's counter rotation. A sliver, like a nip of a drink, for an innuendo. 1 sip if he makes a Master Lock is crappy joke. 2 sips for shilling covert instruments. 2 sips for bypassing anything with a common household object. 2 sips when a check pin is defeated. 2 sips of mentioning Mrs. Lockpicking Lawyer. Only the first mention. 3 sips when a lock physically breaks, only when it begins to break. And 3 sips when mentioning the tool he and Bosnian Bill made. So I'm going to put this on mute. I'm going to click into various playlists. You can try to dictate maybe what playlists we play or follow along. Actually, I'll do that first. We have a bunch of playlists here. Is there any recommendation for what playlist we start off with? Every time we're going to go into a playlist, we're going to put it on shuffle mode and then play the whole thing, and hopefully, again, the internet doesn't die. So if in the next 15 seconds I don't hear a mention, we're going to go watch. I'm going to figure we're going to watch 20 videos, I think. 20, maybe 30. That should fill up to like 1 a.m. And then we're going to end the stream, and when we do, if you're on DLive, they brought back, I believe they brought back the treasure chest, so you should be able to get lemons. And on Twitch, as usual, we're going to raid some other stream. And I just realized I forgot to put a forwarding thing on YouTube, so hopefully next time we'll be able to do that properly. So dealer's choice. Okay, so I'm just going to make choices throughout this. Let's watch like about 20 videos and see how well or not well we do here. So here we go.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today we are starting a new video series on the locks pictured in front of you. For inclusion in this series, a lock had to meet 3 criteria. First, it has to have an 1.5" or 40mm wide body. Second, it has to have an aluminum body. And finally, it has to have a removable core. Now, in past video series, I've ranked the locks after I've picked them. But that's going to be a little bit more difficult with this series for the following reasons. These locks are really grouped close together. All of them have 5 or 6 pins, and every single one of these has security pins. So to take a little bit of the guesswork out of ranking these, I put together a point system that we'll use for the ranking. So here's how it goes. For each lock with 6 pins, we're going to give it 2 points. Then we will assign 1 point for each security pin, and that includes drivers and key pins. Then we'll give 3 points for a paracentric keyway, and 2 points if a specialized pick is required or makes it materially easier to open the lock. And by specialized, I mean anything thinner than 25 thousandths of an inch or an odd profile. So let's start this out by taking you through what locks I have laid out in front of you, and then we will choose one for picking. So first we have a Chinese generic lock. There's no brand on this. Then we have 2 Master Lock Series 6835 locks. I'll probably do them together in the same video. Then we have a Pack Lock 90A, a Squire SAL 40, a lock from the Club brand, and a Sesame lock at the end of the bottom row. Moving up to the top row, we have a CASP 14040. Then we have 2 Federal Lock 90As. The silver one, I believe, is older than the blue one, and they have different keyways. And we have 2 American Lock Series 1100. The one on the left has the edge restricted keyway. Then we have a Matte Lock Series 5025. 2 Abises. We have the 83 AL40, which takes a full-size key, and then we have the 7240, which takes the smaller padlock size key. And finally, the last one is this Lockwood 214A40. Some of these locks were sent to me from people literally all over the world, and I'll give credit when we feature each of those particular locks. But to start this out, I'm going to go with what I expect will be the easiest to open lock of the group, and that's this generic Chinese one. So let's see what that takes to get into. Move all this stuff out of the way. We have a pretty nice little keyway on this lock. You can see it is pretty paracentric, so I'll probably give it the 3 points for that. And I have tried picking this off of that edge of warding on the right side, and I was not able to do it with a standard 25 thousandths pick. I was able to do it with this specialized, the SSDev Sparrows hook in 25 thousandths, and I was able to do it in with a 15 thousandths 7 hook, which is what I'll use in this video. So I'm also going to give this lock the points for requiring a specialized pick to open up. So right off the bat, we're off to a good start with this lock. I'm using top of the keyway tension with a small wiper insert, and then this 7 hook in 15 thousandths. Okay, got a click out of 1. Did not feel like a security pin. Two is definitely binding. Got a little click out of him. 3, got a click out of him. 4 is loose. 5 is loose. Back to 1. Okay, got another click out of 1. Nothing on 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 is binding now. Okay, I think we, come on, 5. Okay, I think we got 5 set. Back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we didn't get 5. Okay, I just let off a little bit of tension and we appear to have dropped into a bit of a false set. Nothing on 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 is binding now. We got her open. I think 4 felt like a spool. Okay, so this lock definitely gave me a little bit of fight. Let's take it apart and see what's inside now. Okay, like most of these locks, this comes apart with a screw down the shackle hole. This is a Phillips screw.
I just want to warn that when I'm drinking it's so strong that even after sips, I'm like really utterly destroyed. So this is going to be fun.
Okay, right off the bat we see a nice rusty screw. So I guess we're lucky that came out easily. And a totally grease-covered core. Let me wipe him off just a little bit. Okay, let's get this C-clip off the back now. Okay, now let's get the key and a follower. My key was actually a little bit sticky in there.
I love how we accidentally probably one of his
Okay, this is a 5-pin core.
We're still going to watch a couple of videos.
Let's see if we can get these pins out. 1 is standard, 2 is standard. Okay, these are sticking pretty badly, so let me use a pick to get them out. 3 is standard, 4 is...
Oh, sorry, it's because of the double audio, but he's not really saying anything that requires us to drink right now. I'm just saying that it's kind of funny that, one, we picked like one of his longest videos and randomized that by accident. We're still going to watch a bunch of them. And 2 is that this stuff is so strong that even after 2 sips, the test sip and the current sip, I am like bleh right now. So this is going to be fun with later videos.
Four is a spool, and 5 is standard. Okay, so all things considered, from a generic Chinese lock, pretty nice looking pinning in here. As far as points we're going to assign this, we got 3 points for the paracentric keyway, 2 points for needing a specialized pick. We didn't get the points for having 6 pins, but we do get an extra 3 points for our 3 spools. So that is 8 points total for this lock. Okay, let me give you a close-up of the pinning here.
It's funny that you say that about his hands, because 1, only people who watch his videos and or lock sporters would notice that, and 2 is that, quick aside, because he's going to say a bunch of stuff that's not going to be required for the drinking. Every time I kept seeing videos from master lock sporters, I noticed that they had ginormous thick fingers and hands, And I have like tiny T-Rex Donald Trump hands, very thin and spindly. It's like Jack Skellington. So I used to kind of think maybe the reason why I'm not as good as I think I am or I should be is because maybe I don't have giant hands. But that it's just really just skill and practice at the end of the day. All right, here we go. Next video. Let's see if it gets more crazy.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and I am continuing my series on 40mm aluminum padlocks with this lock, the American Lock Series 1100 with the Edge restricted keyway. Now I selected this lock today for a particular reason, and that is because yesterday I showed you this lock. This is a Lockwood cylinder with a Master Locksmith Association restricted keyway. And when I showed you this, I pointed out that the keyway is such that the profile of the key spells out the letters ML, which in this case stands for Master Locksmith. This American lock has something very similar. If we look at that keyway, we can see it has a similar profile, which means the key also spells out the letters ML. In this case, that stands for Master Lock, which is the parent company of American Lock. So, interesting little feature. While we're zoomed in on this keyway, let's take a look. It is not paracentric. You can see there's pretty clearly a line straight down the center there that you can exploit with a 15 or 18 I've not been able to open this lock with a full-size 25 thousandths pick. So while this will not be getting points for having a paracentric keyway, it will get points for requiring a specialized pick to open. Okay, let's see what it takes to get into this lock. I'm going to be using a 40 thousandths pry bar for top of the keyway tension and this 15 thousandths standard hook.
Sorry, to notice we changed, there's a little bit of lag, so just bear with me. I'm going to go to a different playlist and we're going to play something else.
Lawyer, and I am continuing my series on 40mm aluminum padlocks with Master Locks entries, and these are two variants of the Pro Series Model C. This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today we are starting a new padlock comparison series. And this series will focus on 50mm laminated steel padlocks. I have most of the lineup that I'm going to include in this series in front of you right now. There's a couple others I'm considering adding. I haven't made up my mind yet. Things like this.
Okay, here we go.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and I am continuing my series on 50mm laminated steel padlocks with this lock. It is the Brinks Model 672. Now, right off the bat, the most obvious feature is this nice bumper it has to make sure you don't damage anything that you lock up with this. We have a 9.5mm shackle, which is the thickest shackle thus far in this series, and it is a boron alloy shackle. Next, we see it has a ball bearing locking mechanism. So thus far, only the Brinks and the Kwikset have ball bearings from this series. We can see from looking at this key, let's give you a close-up of it. It is a 5-pin core. Okay bitting, not great, but not bad either. We are going to pick this guy and see what it takes to get inside. Okay, I'm going to use top of the keyway tension with a 40 thousandths pry bar and my standard hook in 18 thousandths. Okay, let's get started. 1's loose. 2 is binding. Looks like we went into a false set. Okay, little counter rotation on 3, got him set. Counter rotation on 4, got him set. 5 appears or feels stiff. Number 1, counter rotation, got him set, 2 still set. Must have dropped 3, and we got her open. Okay, so some good and some bad in there. First thing, I don't know if you noticed, but we never actually got any movement out of pin number 5. Looking at that, you can see number 5 is actually the highest cut. So again, it means this Brinks has driver pins that are too short. A large disappointment. On the other hand, this lock does have at least 3 spools in there. It felt like number 2 was standard and 1, 3, and 4 were spools. Probably 5 was as well, but it never actually came into play. So not a bad little lock. So the question arises, where do we rank it? Well, it's a 5-pin lock. It has security pins. The only other lock that we have with security pins in here is the ABIS, not counting the quick-set smart key with the slider sidebar mechanism, which I consider much harder than any of the locks here. Since this is a 5-pin, this is a 4-pin, I am going to rank the Brinks above the ABIS Model 41. So where we stand right now is Chinese padlock, master number 5, ABIS 41, Brinks model 672, and then our quick-set smart key. That's all I have for you today on my 50mm laminated steel padlock series. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it,
let's do one more of these, and then we'll switch to another playlist.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and I'm continuing my series on laminated steel padlocks with this lock, the American number P6. This lock is not made anymore. It looks very similar to the other ones here, 50mm laminated construction, 8 rivets, a shackle that is, let's see, about 9.5mm, which compares very favorably with the others here. Let's see what it takes to pick this guy open. We have a Yale-style keyway, pretty small, tight, a little bit paracentric. Let's use a small wiper insert to tension this. And I'm going to try my deep hook from the Southward Slimline collection. Okay, let's get started. Okay, 1 is loose, 2 is loose. Click out of 3. 4 is loose, nothing from 5. Going back to 1, nothing there. 2, getting something. I think we set him. 3, got a little counter rotation, then we dropped into a false set. Nothing from 4, counter rotation on 5, got him set. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2, counter rotation on 3. And we got her open. Okay, so 5 pins, full of spools, tight keyway. I'm liking this lock. Unfortunately, it's not made anymore. Where do we rank this? Well, clearly we rank it above all of the locks.
Okay, so I think at this point we're going to switch to a different playlist. We're going to watch probably 8 more videos. I am already dying. This is hilarious. I think this is the most fun episode we've done so far. Oh boy, is my job going to hate me tomorrow. I'm glad they don't know this live stream exists, as far as I know. Let's find a new one.
You can see if there were pins that were too short, we would have run into it on pins 5 and 3. So clearly they seem to have done things right. So I am going to rank it above both of these in the number 2 slot. So right now our rankings stand as follows. At the very bottom we have the Chinese Harbor Freight with the plastic core. Then we have the On Guard with the plastic core. That's the model 8102, the master number 5.
Also real quick on this next video, I'm gonna quickly walk over and see if I can make the light brighter so you can see my face better. And we're gonna continue on. Unless there's suggestions, I'm gonna pick another random playlist, and we're gonna probably do like 8 more videos. I'm gonna stream between like 1:30 2 a.m., which will give me about 4 hours of sleep till I work. But I've gone to work and slept for less, so. And plus, we're ringing in the new year. I owe you guys an episode. This one's on me. Literally, you saw how fast those sips are. It's not sponsored by 7-Eleven, but I feel like that's kind of part of the curse here. I just need a solid cup so you wouldn't see like what color or whatever the liquid is. But here we go. Let's torture myself more with this game. I'm already coming up with new rules that I need to add and rules I need to modify, but so far, so good. Okay, more torture. Let's do this. I just found the master of all his videos, so hopefully if it doesn't die, let's just straight up watch 8 to 10 more videos.
Pro. I get a ton of requests asking me to show how to reassemble locks, so that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to start by putting the key pins back into this hybrid core actuator, and since I put them all in numbered slots on my pinning tray, that's a fairly easy task. What makes it a little bit easier is a pair of pinning tweezers. You can see right on the end I have small notches or bends in them that allow me to pick up pins without them slipping off.
Alright, I think that's a tons better, and he already just said covert instruments, so I'm going to do a sip.
Just to make sure that everything is in the right location. And that's always a really good step, because if you get one of these wrong, your key will not work anymore. Now we're going to reassemble the housing of the lock, and we start by putting all of the springs back in. Once again, these tweezers really help with that.
Sorry, again, there's a little lag. Try to mitigate that.
Okay, now that we have that done, I am going to start putting the pins back in. And I'm going to use the follower, and just so you can see what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put one in out of order. I place the pin in part way, and then I push it with the follower so it stays in position, and then I push it all the way down. So this one actually goes in the number 7 slot, so let's move that one down. And after you've been doing this for a while, that motion really does just become muscle memory.
Just a note to everyone, I see 3 screens here, like my vision's already blurring, so just let you know, even though I've only done like 8 sips, this stuff is so strong that I'd rather be drinking moonshine, so just let everyone know that.
I'm going to reinsert the core, and for a beginner I would highly recommend inserting the key before you do this, just so the driver pins don't accidentally fall into one of the key pin slots, and you make it so the core will not go back together. Okay, we can see that key turns freely, so we know everything is in the right location. Now I'm going to slip this clip back on. At least I'm going to try to do that. Okay, the next thing to do is insert the ball bearings back into the lock. I should note that these were not greased from the factory. I put a little bit of grease on them, not because I think it needs it, but because the grease helps keep things in place when I'm reassembling it. Otherwise, it can be a real pain to get everything lined up. But because we do have that grease on it, I can insert this and not worry about the ball bearings falling out of position. And as I say that, the ball bearings fell out of position. There we go. I'm going to remove the key, insert the security plate, insert the security nut. Now we can unlock it and put the assembly screw into position. Okay, folks, I hope that was helpful, but that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.
All right, let's see what new random bullshit we're going to run into.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is the Stopbox USA AR-15 chamber lock. I've received several emails asking me to review this device, which sells on Amazon for $149. First, the good news. The construction seems to be fairly good quality, with most of the external components made of machined anodized aluminum and the internal parts made of aluminum and plastic. Second, it can be unlocked fairly quickly by pushing the buttons of the combination and then the top button. The motion looks something like this. It can be awkward at first, but with a little bit of practice, it becomes fairly fast and easy. Finally, this is entirely mechanical, which means it doesn't depend on batteries or electronics. That's the end of the good news. The bad news is that the user-selected code must have 2 buttons depressed and 2 buttons released. That means there are 6 possible combinations. It also means it would take less than 30 seconds to try them all. You can increase the number of possible combinations to 15 if you purchase additional plastic parts from the company, though frankly at the $149 price point they should already be included. But I'm not sure it makes a difference. It's that low number of combinations that makes me struggle to see a use profile for the product. If the firearm is in my control, I don't want this lock on it, and if it's out of my control, I don't think a product with 6 possible combinations is adequate. Now hypothetically, let's say you wanted a faster method of entry than trying 6 combinations. Well, here you go. All you have to do is press this top button and then try each of the code buttons. You can see that bottom one stuck down. That is an indication that it's part of the combination. Then we try the other buttons and it opens up. Let's do that one more time in full speed. Okay, folks, while this does seem to be well made, I just don't see a use for it. The 6 possible combinations take only seconds to try, and decoding it is even faster. It's certainly not something that I would ever trust to stop a curious adolescent. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions...
I'm actually shocked that we actually got a video that didn't trip any of these. That's impressive.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Alright, let's see what new bullshit we get introduced to. I would say about 5 more videos left.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is an OK Lead brand wheel lock that was sent to me by Tony in Sonoma. Now when I first saw this, I was hoping to demonstrate it while it was locked around the wheel of my car. Then I realized just how small the opening is. I looked it up online and found it on Amazon, which says this is intended for things like boat trailers, golf carts, and ATVs. The idea is that when it's locked around the wheel, rollaway theft is very difficult. Now to state the obvious, this lock has a pretty clear weakness. It can be defeated simply by replacing the wheel. But truth be told, there's a much faster and easier way around it. Securing the mechanism is a very poor quality dimple lock that can be raked open in just a few seconds. Let's give it a try. I'm going to use this Z-bar as a turning tool and this dimple rake. Just that quickly we got it open. Let's try that a few more times. Open again, and one last time, just to show you it was.
I'm already seeing what things I'm going to add to make things more consistent, but I'm still happy with this rule set.
Easy to get into, and obviously it's not something that I would rely on to protect a high value item like a boat trailer or ATV. In fact, I wouldn't even use this to secure a low value item like a wheelbarrow. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.
All right, let's see if we actually get a crazy one.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today I want to share a very effective tool that I've never shown on the channel before. Now, as much as I enjoy picking locks, I have to admit that it's not always the fastest or most reliable way through a door. That's why non-destructive entry specialists are always looking for the weakest link in a system. And it's that approach that gave birth to this tool. It's known as a J-tool for obvious reasons, and it's intended to slip in the gap between double doors and flip the thumb turn. It's a tool that I sell over on covertinstruments.com and often recommend to first responders who may need to access commercial buildings with a low skill attack. Now I can show you how to use this on my desk, but it's hard to appreciate the ease of the exploit until you see it done in the field. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. Okay folks, as you saw, we got in very quickly, and that's despite the fact that lock happened to be particularly stiff and hard to turn. Now I should note there's not always enough room for this tool between the doors. That's why something like this air wedge is a great companion for the J-tool. This is much thinner and you can almost always get this between the doors. Then by pumping the wedge, you create the
I sipped because that kind of counts as an innuendo.
of force. This too is available over on covertinstruments.com. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you. This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is a Bison brand fingerprint trigger lock model L2. It's a California DOJ approved firearm safety device. Before we look too carefully at the lock, I want to briefly touch on California DOJ approval and picking standards. When someone first told me what the picking test was, I honestly thought he was joking. The only tools you can use are a screwdriver and a number 1 paperclip, so the lockpicking test actually bans the use of lockpicks. And even better, the test must be performed in 2 minutes by someone without any training or skills in lock manipulation. So to summarize, it will only fail the California lockpicking test if someone who doesn't know how to pick locks and doesn't have any lock picks can pick the lock in 2 minutes. That shouldn't inspire much confidence, and I only mention it so you don't think it's something special that this is approved by California. So let's get back to the Bison lock. As with all trigger locks, fitment is always a serious concern. It's actually why I chose to demo the lock on this particular piece. Despite the lock being firmly in place, the firearm can still be loaded and fired. Let's give that a try. You can see this is currently unloaded, and I can reach right behind the trigger guard with a thin piece of metal and pull the trigger. Let's try that again. As for opening this the way it's intended, there are two ways. First, we have the fingerprint side, which seems to work reliably on clean, dry fingers. At least it did in my limited testing. With wet or dirty fingers, I had a lot of trouble. It certainly can't be relied on, but that's pretty normal for these types of sensors. On the opposite side, we have the mechanical override. It uses a tubular core that's about 20% larger than standard. That means that standard impressioning tools will not work. That's a good thing. However, single pin picking will work without much difficulty. Let's give that a try. Putting some tension on the core with my normal tubular lock tensioner. And number 1, nothing there, nothing on 2, 3. Nice click out of 4. Little click on 5. Nothing on 6. Little click on 7. 1, click on 2, nothing on 3, 4, little click on 5, 6, click out of 7, and we got this open. Okay, folks, as you saw, that was pretty simple to open. As for the fingerprint side of this, I love to see the technology getting more mature, but given that the fingerprint recognition is spotty at best in less than ideal circumstances, like wet or dirty fingers, it's not something I would use. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you. This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today I'm going to break with my tradition when it comes to slash-resistant security bags. Rather than cut this open, I'm going to manipulate the mechanism. Now, there are 2 things remarkable when it comes to the exploit I use on this Lewis & Clark brand safe box. First, it's about as fast as just cutting it open, and second, the only tool I need to use is a little bit of Red Bull can. Let me show you just how easy it is. With the lock open, I'm able to show you what's going on inside. I'm going to take this little sliver of Red Bull can, place it between a code wheel and the lock body, and you can see me pushing down on the locking bar. When it's in the depressed position, this lock is open. So let's close this up and try that again. This is currently locked. You cannot press these little tabs in. I'm going to insert my bit of Red Bull can, push it down, push on the tabs, and just that quickly we got it open. Let's do that one more time so you can see it was not a fluke. You can't relock this without the correct combination dialed in. So I'm going to push that locking bar out of the way so we can relock it. Once again locked, and once again unlocked. Okay, folks, given how easy these types of products are to cut open, I'm not sure if this exploit really makes a practical difference, but it certainly shows how little effort went into the design. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you. This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is the thickest commercial cable lock I've ever tested. It's the Kryptonite Hardwire, and it features a 25mm or 1-inch thick cable that weighs in at over 5.5 pounds. That's several times more massive than a normal cable lock like this Kryptonite Lockdown. Now, the thickness of the cable means that cutting through it with small hand cutters or even my big 28-inch cable shears is going to be very difficult, if it's possible at all. In fact, there aren't many tools that can even reach around this thick cable. I suspect the lowest signature tool that would stand a chance against this is a hacksaw, though if I were trying to cut through it, I'd probably opt for an angle grinder. As for picking, this has Kryptonite's standard disc detainer core, though it's hidden behind a powerfully spring-loaded dust cover. That may interfere with our picking efforts. I don't think overall it's particularly hard to pick, but it will require specialized tools and skills. So, let's see what it takes to get this open. The first thing we're going to do is rotate all of those discs as far clockwise as they will go. Then I'm going to get the pick that Bosnian Bill and I made and shove it through those spring-loaded doors and see if we can find disc number 1. Okay, I think we're in position. Let's find disc 2 and get to picking. Nice click out of 2. That feels like it's in a gate. Nothing on 3. Nice click on 4. 4 feels like it's in a gate. 5 feels like it's in a gate. Number 6 is binding very tightly. Got a nice click there. Number 7 is binding. And I slipped off of number 7. There we go. 7's in a gate, and nothing on 8. Back to the beginning. Nothing on 2. 3 is binding. And we got this open. Okay, folks, as you saw, it's not particularly hard to open. As for my overall thoughts on this, it's certainly better than most cable locks, if for no other reason that it is very thick. But that thickness means it jumps to a pretty high weight class, in which I think you can probably do better with a quality chain. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you. This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today I wanted to wish a sincere happy anniversary to an iconic American company, Master Lock. It was 100 years ago, in 1921, that the company was founded by locksmith Harry Sorov, a Russian immigrant. He invented the lamination method of building lock bodies, which allowed the company to build strong steel locks without the expense of machining a block of solid steel. These laminated steel locks are really what put the company on the map, so it's certainly fitting that the model 1921 limited edition lock the company made to celebrate 100 years uses that laminated construction under the plastic weather shield. Now, one would think that in a lock designed to commemorate a 100-year history, the company would want to put its best foot forward. But they did something that still has me scratching my head. This lock contains a core with 6 pin chambers, but there's only pins in 4 of them. And to make matters worse, pin stack number 4 on this lock has a driver pin that's too short, allowing us to just ignore it. So, from a picker's perspective, I have a 3-pin lock, though all 3 are security pins. So, let's pick this open. I'm going to use this wiper insert in the bottom of the keyway as a turning tool. And to pick it, I'm going to use my Covert Companion, and I sell these over on covertinstruments.com. Counter rotation and a click out of 1. Same on 2. Same on 3, though I could hear some pins drop down. Let's work our way back. Looks like 2 dropped down. I got that reset. And 1 dropped down as well. We got him reset, and this lock is open. Okay, folks, when I decided to make this video, I had no intention other than to congratulate the company on its 100-year anniversary. But their commemorative lock was too emblematic of the issues I've been complaining about for years to escape comment. All that said, happy anniversary to Master Lock, and here's hoping the next 100 years witnesses a renewed focus on the small details that will take your products to the next.
So I only have a very tiny bit of the liquid left, but we're going to do one last one as an encore, even if I run out of fluid. So, ooh, that sounded weird. Here we go. Last one, encore. Let's do this.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is something I've both never seen before and have seen all too many times. It's a Master Lock model M115, and it was sent to me by Hunter in Nebraska. Though it's been around for several years, I've never seen this particular model, but it certainly has the Master Lock hallmarks with which I am very familiar. We have a relatively strong laminated steel lock body, a weak core inside of that, and then a security rating that is, in my opinion, unrealistically high. It seems this model emphasizes weather resistance with its rubber housing and a no rust guarantee. But I'm a lot more interested in the core within. We are going to pick it open using a hook and turning tool from the Genesis set that I sell over on covertinstruments.com. So let's give this a try. I'm using the turning tool in the bottom of the keyway, and nothing on 1, 2, 3, 4 is binding. Nice click there. Pulling back, nothing on 3. Click out of 2. Little click on 1. We should probably be really close right now. Click out of 3, and I got this open. Okay, folks, there are just 4 pins inside, and I did not feel any security pins. That's not good. I would expect that a beginning lockpicker could open this without too much trouble. So this lock should only be used if you are fully aware of and accept that vulnerability. In any case, that's all I have.
And that is all I have for all of you today. Let's stop the video feed. And with very, very tiny slither left from the liquid, it literally started here. And by the end of watching all 11 videos, it's now down to literally one last sip. So, what should I do with the last sip? Well, of course, this is an honor to all of you guys for sticking around for 2 years. It's going to be in May of this show. We literally put this together among all of our live streams when COVID-19 was going down in March of 2020. And literally overnight, or roughly 2 months, we became experts in beginning the live stream. And we keep improving our craft as we go on, despite all the hardships and challenges. So this tiny last sip of something that you can obviously really see is affecting me right now. I wish I was like acting or exaggerating. No, this is what I'm like when I am drinking this stuff. That's not alcohol. So you'll find out in April what that is. So this is to all of you guys, all of you, I guess I should call you fans, even though I don't feel like a celebrity or anything, to the Master of Unlocking under DCG 201. This is to you. Happy New Year. Thank you for all who watch. See? Nothing. A little bit on my hands. But there's nothing left. Yeah. Yep. We're gone. We're good. So, take off the headphones so I can process this all better. As you can see, I forgot that this light's on a dimmer, so now you can properly see my face. That was it for our show. I told you it'd be kind of short. It's just I ended up starting late because transit and busyness. I'm going to be even more busy tomorrow. I am really excited for this year, not only for all the stuff we're going to be doing under DCG 201, some of the stuff I was talking to the Crypto Mondays people technically last night, and but that I'm also excited for all the stuff for Master of Unlocking. I'm hoping that the next episode should be on the 22nd. It's Sunday. That's also Chinese New Year, and if everything goes right, because I'm waiting for stuff in the mail, we might have something that might tie into the theme of Chinese New Year. And we're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff. There's episodes I've been wanting to do for a while, like the IKEA episode. I can't wait till you all see that. The Lockpickers United belt system. We're going to be looking at a lot of people of color and women lock sporters we're going to be interviewing. I'm going to go down to Atlantic City. I'm going to go down to Vegas. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff. We're going to expand out to new different lock frontiers, stuff I've been wanting to cover for a while. We're going to be covering cruciform lock cores. We're going to be covering multi-T lock systems, which is going to be, that's going to be a fun thing to wait in the mail. Continue on learning disc detainers. You're going to see me create new learning tools that I'm going to paint. You're going to see me make tools that I'm going to be making from scratch. So it's going to truly, unlike tonight's episode, fall under the maker category, where you're going to be watching me build shit live. That's going to be fun. We're going to be going out to different cons and gatherings. I wish you could see it tomorrow. Months ago, I attended SX Noir's podcast, which is about sex and technology. And at her debut, as you probably saw on our Instagram and Twitter, I brought over lockpicking, including how to do lock restraints and handcuffs, which went on really well at that crowd. But that type of stuff, well, she's doing another live stream tomorrow, so I'm going to be there, but without the lock stuff. But we're going to be going to cool places and conventions, places where you don't normally see lockpicking or hacking, and I'm going to be live streaming or pre-recording me showing off doing this. It's just, if you are, I mean, it's going to be an awesome year for the group. You're kind of like restarting almost in a way after some really bad trauma and ups and downs last year. But I think if particularly you're a fan of Locksport and you're a fan of Master of Unlocking, it's going to be a really cool, crazy year, provided I can properly stream on time. So if everything goes right, I should see you guys probably 8 p.m.-ish on Chinese New Year on January 22nd. After that month, it should go back to normal the 1st and 3rd every Sunday. I will warn that because, again, my scheduling, things might change. I'll give you a hint about a bit of the scheduling. Part of the reason why I've been so busy is that I'm applying to a new second job that I hope will hire me. And it's actually going to be the second time that I've actually listed that I pick locks and that I've demoed them. It's not a locksmithing job, by the way. It's something completely different. The last time I did that, I did at the time my dream job. I still miss it to this day. I loved going there and working. And during the job interview, when I demoed my lockpicks, I instantly got the job, and it was my favorite job in the world. This is like this times a billion. This is like literally every skill that this job is asking for is right up my alley. So while I do live in a capitalist nightmare where they might not pick and hire me, this really shows you how strong that drink is. I'm hoping the same results happen, where they're gonna bring me in. I'm gonna do lock picking, and I should be able to get this job. And it's a good, high-paying job, I might add. And I get to do something that I absolutely love, which yes, does include lock picking, at least for the job interview part. Maybe they'll let me do it at the normal job. We'll see. So yeah, good luck. Thank you for wishing good luck. Hope I get that too. And I just wanted to explain the reason I'm this transparent is that I've been so busy. And then part of that, because I had to do a pre-screening for this job, that's why both nights I was dead tired. I was carrying heavy equipment that I ended up never using and doing this job thing and running around all over New Jersey and New York, and I was tired. So you got the episode tonight. I am completely, as you can see right now, and a little bit too happy for my own good. I'm glad that you get to watch me with the Lockpicking Lawyer Drinking Game. I do think it was a good starting list, as someone said in chat. I do now know what to add. I haven't seen his, honestly, it's been a month since I've seen any of his videos. So it's been enough time where I forget how many times he says click on something. I notice other odd mannerisms that I'm going to add to the list. But tomorrow, I am going to not only post this to our lockpicking and our social media, so you can get the link for it, but I am also, excuse me, where was I going with this? Let's see, this is how screwed up I am. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this topic. Oh yeah. But not only am I going to post a link to it, I'm going to post those rules and some updates to those rules in the comments, in the description, in the post, so that you can all play your own versions of Lockpicking Lawyer Game. And anytime you're around other lock sporters and you get completely shit-faced and it's not a tool meeting, you can now blame it on me and Lockpicking Lawyer, because Lockpicking Lawyer has done so many amazing episodes over the years. You can literally make a drinking game out of it. So thank you all. Happy New Year. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, but I'll mention now that if you like what you see, whether you were live streaming or not, you can follow us on our main channels of Twitch, D Live, and YouTube. When you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that bell and turn on all notifications, because YouTube is a poorly coded piece of shit, so you have to do that. But if you follow us on Twitch, D Live, or YouTube, we get notifications during the stream, and I cheer you on. Of course, since I'm the dipshit, I'm doing it at the end of the episode. Kind of defeats the purpose, but I'm still bringing up that anyhow. I will also mention too that and thank you also for being a lively chat. I forgot to also tell everyone, yeah, you know, be in a lively chat. And it's like, I didn't even need to do that because everyone was just so fucking awesome tonight. For real. I was just trying to do that. Okay, good. That should be more. There should be more CPU resources there. Okay, so to wrap up, again, our website is still on the fritz, but we do still have multiple angles where you can contact us. Here is a link tree of our social media, which, you know, thankfully every popular social network except for Twitter under the Musk has that ability. Twitter doesn't have that ability anymore, so it sucks to be them. And of course, we link everything together by following our Medium, which our Medium blog, which hopefully in the near future, probably I'm hoping Thursday, sometime between Thursday and Saturday, we should be posting a blog post on our Medium blog about our upcoming meeting and when it's going to be and where it's going to be. And I'm so excited for all of it. I already know the title for it. It's going to be called Broken Windows. Remember that time where we had a meeting, by the way, this is our Discord. Remember the time where we had that meeting where everything was Mac themed? Well, this might not be everything, but I'm going to try to put as many Windows and Microsoft based product hacks as possible. So it's going to be a very fun screen. It's now going to be Windows turn. And in fact, I'm going to try to make it a tradition where every couple of months, maybe once a year at minimum, we do one meeting, even if it's a sequel to one, about a certain tech theme like that, like a certain company or a certain type of product. I think it'd be really neat. So anyhow, that's it for Master of Unlocking. Again, you can follow our social media, including DEFCON21NJ on Twitter, DEFCON21 on Mastodon, the hostducks.social instance, and on Instagram. We're also on GitHub, minds.com. We recently joined co-host and Tribe because we're staying away from Hive because it was a poorly coded piece of shit. And of course, we're never going to have a Gab or Truth Social because we're not fucking idiots. So you can follow us all there. That's it for my show. I hope to see you, if everything goes right, January 22nd for Chinese New Year. That's going to be a fun, interesting one. I get to hopefully order and try a product I haven't done before. I realized I look like a Russian hipster at a cafe. I don't know how that happened, but I did. And I'm also just old. Welcome to this liquid. I want everyone in the comments section who's watching this post screen to guess what the heck I was drinking. That'd be really funny. So anyhow, that's it for our stream. If you are on DLive, actually, we're not doing the tokens on DLive. So on Crypto Mondays, we'll do the tokens, but that's fine. Sorry. I kind of lied in the title description for DLive. Sorry. But if you are on Twitch, stay tuned. We're gonna, especially because it's right now my time, it's 1:38 in the morning, so I get to go to sleep at 2 and wake up at 6. 4 hours, well, 3-4 hours of sleep. I can't count anymore. That's fun. But anyhow, what was I saying? If you're on Twitch, stay tuned because we're gonna raid someone, and because it's the wee hours of the morning, we're probably gonna raid someone we don't normally raid before. Usually we try to do a hackerish programmer thing. Might be cool music. Might be something completely stupid and unrelated. Who knows? You're going to find out. So that's it. Thank you for all watching. Thank you for watching the DCG Tool 1 live stream. I hope to see you again. Future live stream. I hope to see you at our meeting this month. If it's your birthday today, if you happen to watch this video, pre-recorded or not, happy birthday out to you. I'm going to start that as a tradition for 2013. And yeah, I have to sleep everything off, so I'm going to get to bed. And also, I might have woken up my friends that are here, so I have to check on that. So anyhow, hope to see you in the future. If you're on Twitch, stay tuned. We're going to raid a channel. Thank you for watching Master of Unlocking. I am Sidepocket, co-founder of DCG 201 and the host for Master of Unlocking. Hack the planet, Dirty Jersey represents, and remember, always do your mental health. Like I said, I could have really forced myself on Saturday to do the stream, but it was not in great circumstances, and also, again, I was part of those circumstances. I was so tired, and I'd rather not fake. I will never fake doing live stream. So unlike all these other people out there that just, plaster that on and stuff, I'm not a Hollywood actor. If I'm sick, or like the time when I got certain poisoning, or carbon monoxide poisoning to be exact, or whatever, I am going to take breaks. I will let everyone know. I'll let everyone know what's going on and I'm okay. But, I think everyone this year should be focusing on not being selfish, but like focusing on themselves and their well-being. I'm trying to do that personally. I think we should all kind of do that too. So anyhow, that was a long remember this, but that's the truth. And the strength's really strong. Peace, everyone. Say hi to the person we're going to raid on Twitch if you're on Twitch. Otherwise, enjoy the music. See you next time. January 22nd. Bye.